Hello students, we get back to the climate of India, the chapter 3 of geography of class 9, and we all know that the climate of any place is the atmospheric conditions of that particular area which is being summarized for a period of almost 35 years. When we are looking into the factors, there are six major factors or what we call the controls of the climate of any particular place. Now, in order to remember them, we have developed an acronym which is LOWERN, LOWERN. Now, these factors can be broadly divided, or LOWERN can be broadly divided into two categories. One is a set of factors which affect the climate of a place at the global level, and the remaining four factors are the factors which are true particular to that region or that country. So let's look into the factors which affect any place across the globe. The first factor is the latitude of the place, and the second factor is the ocean current. And there are a host of four factors which affect a particular region because regional differences impact the climate of a place. And these factors are the wind system and the atmospheric pressure belts or the pressure systems, the relief features or the climate or the physiography of that area, the elevation or what we call the altitude, and nearness to the sea, whether the place is located close to the sea or away from the sea. Now, when we look into latitude, as you can see on the screen, we have all learnt about latitude, and the main latitudes or the major latitudes of the earth are the equator, the tropics on both the sides. The northern hemisphere we have the Tropic of Cancer, in the southern hemisphere we have the Tropic of Capricorn, and then we have the Arctic Circle in the north and the Antarctic Circle in the south. Then we have the North Pole and the South Pole. Now these latitudes are very important in the sense they not only help us in locating a particular place, whether it's in the northern or the southern hemisphere, it gives us a lot of information about the climate of that place. Because places near the equator or on the equator and around the tropics are the ones which receive maximum heat. But what are these latitudes? These latitudes are nothing but the angular distance of any place on the surface of the earth. And the angle is measured from the center of the earth, which is the place on the center, we imagine it, and the central latitude that we have is the equator, and all the other latitudes, whether it's in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere, they'll run from east to west direction, and they are all parallel to each other, and they are denoted by degrees. Now, as we just now learned, the latitude of a place, particularly those near the equator, are the ones which receive maximum heat. But why do they receive maximum heat? They receive maximum heat because the heat received in these areas are more or less direct. However, as we move from the equator towards the poles, what happens? The heat amount reduces because the rays of the sun do not reach these areas in a straight line but rather in a slanted manner. So, as a result of this, the polar regions are cooler, whereas the equatorial regions are much more warmer. So, therefore, if we look into India in particular, places near the equator, that is the Andaman Nicobar Islands or the southern tip of India, will be again warmer slightly than the extreme northern part or the Himalayan sector.